Back with one. It's your guy, Mr. AIHP, credit consultant, business funder. I help veterans and service members get to the bag and fix their life. So today we're going to talk about what is credit. We're going to start this thing from the basics, right? So that way y'all can understand how to navigate through life and not get left behind. You get what I'm saying? So pretty much what we're going to do is give an overview of what is credit, right? We're going to talk just a little bit, but I'm not going to go too further in depth because we'll be here all day and I don't want to keep you here all day unless you can spare me your time. But check me in, listen up, I'm finna give it to you. See, credit was a system that started, I say way back when, right? I can't give you exact dates. I got to do my research, but it started way back when farmers and people who had things to bargain, and what they would do is they would do things based off credit, which is trust, right? So what they would do is they would actually bargain with things like, hey, I got wheat, I got barley, right? I got things to trade in to give to a person who might have meat, say for instance, such as lamb, beef, right? And things of that nature. So it was pretty much built on that bargain system to help them pretty much farm and feed their families as well as feed the other people. So what happened was later on down the line was that system eventually evolved into the system that we have now, where is credit scores, different types of underwriting, and honestly speaking, like just how you perform as a borrower. Like, we give you this much to see what you're going to do with it. It's almost like a setup play. Like, we gonna throw you the alley-oop, but we gonna see if you gonna dunk it. So basically, almost like I'm gonna give you a loan for $10,000 because I see that you have good borrowing history, and that's basically on-time payments, and you borrowing from other people and paying it back on time, efficiently, whether it's on that date or you accrued the interest, but you still all in turn paid it back. So interesting enough, lenders actually check this out. Lenders look at your scores. Sometimes you might ask yourself a question and be like, why am I not getting approved for this? What's going on? What did I do wrong? Okay, let me tell you something. Maybe it's your personal information that might need to be tweaked a little bit. Okay, maybe it's your employer, or maybe you haven't been borrowing correctly good enough to where it's like, yeah, we trust this person. We trust them enough to give them this line of credit, or we trust them enough to give them this loan, or we trust, y'all see where I'm going here, we trust them enough to actually say, hey, I'm going to give you a credit card with $30,000 on it because we know that you have good borrowing history. And that is pretty much the whole foundation of credit. Are you a good borrower? Can you pay it back on time? Will you do the things that you said that you're committing to us when you sign that disclosure agreement, when you sign that contract and saying, hey, I will pay this back on time? If there's a late fee, I will pay that late fee with the accrued interest and pay that what I borrow from you guys back on time. Also, credit can be used in this ways in this specific way as well, right? The people who you say, hey, I would like to get a mortgage. And a lot of times people don't understand that when you go to apply for things like this, you actually need credit. I don't care how much cash you have, your borrowing habits, or you can call it that, the data points, the algorithm, your profile, however you want to put it. They will actually see if you qualify to get a loan. Realtors, when you go to a realtor and say, hey, I would like to purchase a home, they say, okay, what are you looking for? You tell them what you're looking for. You'll tell them your range. However, you didn't think to check your credit profile. Hence the reason why a lot of people go into credit restoration to get their score fixed, or either get negative items deleted or inaccurate items fixed and updated to positive, because they don't know that these things right here are literally destroying their chances of getting a home. How to be a great borrower, how to have other lenders and financial institutions trust you good enough to give you that loan, line of credit, and account. Like, just put those two together. Are you good? Are you good like you really say you good? Side tip, is I actually went to go and apply for a business loan. And they said, hey, we still would like to pull your credit profile. And this is just to see if you meet the correct data points and just to see, your borrowing history and see how good of a borrower and if you pay things back on time. And I was like, okay. They checked it. I still got approved for it. But that just goes to show you how important it is to make sure you are meeting those data points, your payment history, amounts owed, making sure amounts owed is not a whole lot. You want to make sure you're getting more than you're using. That is another important one. You want to make sure you have a nice credit mix. You want to make sure you have installment loans. You want to make sure you have 5 to 7 revolving accounts. When I say revolving accounts, those are pretty much credit cards that have a limit on it. So if you got $18,000 on a credit card, you spend it, but you still have that available limit. I'm not talking about no charge card. We're not talking about American Express where you just put however much on there, but you got to pay it back within a certain time range. You have credit inquiries, which is so important because this will determine if you get approved or denied for a line of credit, loan, and things of that nature. To move forward in this actual sense is when it comes to partnerships, this is also a thing too to see how good you are and what is your borrowing history. Because listen, I want you to answer this question. I want you to answer. If I come up to you and you say, I want to partner up with you, you're like, hey, let me check your credit profile. You have a 580. You have late payments. You got collections. You got charge-offs. You're 30 to 90 days late. You tell me if you're going to let that person go in a partnership with you and their credit profile is looking like that. You're not really going to be able to trust them because you're like, okay, if you can't pay these folks off, what makes me think that when we go into business together, that when it comes time to do business transactions, that you're not messing off the money, that you're not going late, that the bills aren't being paid on time. The business credit needs to be allocated where it needs to be allocated at correctly. Granted, you can hire people for this, but at the same time, you still have little things in there that you have to do yourself. You have to make sure that, they're not going into debt. That way it doesn't deplete the actual trust and chemistry of that business that you go in a partnership with. Also, too, like when it comes to going to get loans for your LLP, limited liability partnership, they actually check that other person's credit too. Because sometimes y'all can split the partnership 50-50. And if you don't own a certain amount of that business, then they're going to want to see their credit profile as well. And sometimes that can actually get you guys denied. So what I am saying to say is that your credit is so important, and not having these things set out correctly will actually hurt you more than it will help you. To recap on everything, how it's important to establish credit as a person in America, understanding how it works, understanding that partners use your credit profile, understand that realtors, pretty much when you're applying for a loan, it says trust. Peace and blessings. It's your guy, Mr. AIHP. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for coming to my first YouTube video. I'm looking forward to making more. I hope you enjoyed this. If there's anything that I can fix or, improve on, please definitely drop a comment. My link to my business will be in the comments. If you or somebody that you know is looking for credit restoration or has a business and would like to get funded, comment below or click the link down below and we'll take it from there. Send me a message and we'll take it from there. Peace and blessings. It's your guy, Mr. IHP, signing out.